ओम श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं. We are studying Atmabodha here, and last class we finished up to 14 shlokas. We have to take up the 15th, but one of you has asked a question. In the shloka 12, there is the mention of Panchapranas. And he has asked me to explain little better the function of the fifth prana called Udana. Now the main function of Udana is only once in life, the main function, and that is at the end of life. To take the subtle body, which we normally call the jiva, along with the consciousness is all pervading, but it becomes associated with the subtle body, and that is taken to another gross body by this prana function called Udana. So main function of Udana is during the change of body. Now, change of body, let me have some fun on it. When I was in Belur Math, I forgot his name. Our barber, he had his own vocabulary. I used to see before him monks getting transferred from this center to that center, etc. So if somebody passed away, Ram Murat was his name, he used to say, body transfer हो गया. उसका body transfer हो गया. So this body transfer is the main function of this Udana. But in everyday life, we can find its function, and that is what in English we call hiccup. That means the body wants water. At that time, this hiccup comes. And sometimes some disease also, but normally in a healthy body, the need of water is shown by this Udana. Then, because you asked, so let me tell you, there is a, what to call it, superstition. People think like that. Difficult to call it superstition also. If somebody is missing you very much, continuously remembering you intensely, you get hiccup. That is a manyata, it is a supposition in some areas of India. So this is the Panchaprana. Now let us go to Shloka 15. वपुस्तुषादिभिः कोशैर्युक्तं युक्त्यवघाततः आत्मानम् अन्तरं शुद्धं विविच्यात् तण्डुलं यथा. We are asked to analyze and find out that Atman is inside all the five sheaths. So the five which we are calling Atman become sheaths. And when we discriminate, Atman is not body, Atman is not the Indriyas, Atman is not the mind, Atman is not the I consciousness, Atman is the existence, consciousness, bliss absolute. So we have removed the Panchakoshas and seen the Atman. Now, how we have removed it? Yukti avaghatata. Yukti means reasoning, rather discrimination. It is as if we are giving blows, avaghatata. Example is we are husking paddy. So we are giving blows by the peasant. And from the paddy, the rice comes out. And the husk remains outside. So Vapu Stushadi Ve Koshai. Vapu means our body. Adi, that means body, indriyas, mind, eye consciousness. Tusha, in the case of paddy, the husk is the kosha. It also has some layers. Kosher yuktam, yukti avaghatata. By hits of our discrimination, atmanam antaram, shuddham. Atma is inside, not circumscribed, but inside that we find it. When we eliminate these koshas, we find Atma. And it is pure, Shuddham. It has no mixture because all these are unreal. Not only they are koshas, but they are unreal. And we find Atman is one without a second. So Atma is Shuddha. Vivichat should be discriminated. Kandulam yatha, like the rice. Like the rice being separated from the husk of the paddy by pestle, Atma should be discriminated from the sheaths by the hits of our pure reasoning. सदा सर्वगतोप्यात्मा न सर्वत्र अवभासते बुद्धौ एव अवभासेत स्वच्छेषु प्रतिबिंबवत्. Now Atman is all pervading. We are again and again seen. We are discriminating. There are steps. We discriminate and say Atman is not this. Then we find that those things are unreal. Atman alone is real. And then we find that it is Atman which appears as everything. So Atman is all pervading. There is no place in the world where Atman is not there. In that case, why we do not see it everywhere? If Atman is everywhere, why we do not see it everywhere? That is normally a question in our mind. We want to say that Atman is not everywhere because we do not see it. But Atman is consciousness. And its manifestation is very, very, very poor everywhere. If there is a if here, our buddhi, the determinative faculty, which is a function of the mind, when it becomes pure, then Atman is manifested there. Not always, people do not find Atman manifested. But even then, the reflection of consciousness is felt in the mind, and then only this I consciousness comes, and then only we pursue the world. So Atman is not shining everywhere. Atman is shining only on buddhi or mind, we may add, when it is pure. Example, the sun is shining everywhere, but the sun may illuminate everything, but it does not shine. If there is a reflecting surface, then the sun shines there. So by this example, we are made to understand light of the sun is everywhere, but we do not see the light coming from earth or the light coming from doors or windows. We have seen sometimes that when the doors or floor or windows are very polished completely, then it shines. In a glass, if it is clean, mirror, it shines. In the water, if it is steady, it shines. So, shining should not be a proof or method to test whether Atman is all pervading or not. That is the lesson. And the other lesson is that if we can purify our mind, then the Atman will shine there. So, Sada, always, Sarvagato api, though it is all pervading always, Atma, no sarvatra avabhasate, does not shine everywhere. Buddho eva avabhaseta, avabhaseta, it will shine in buddhi only. Buddhi means the determinative faculty. When the mind is thinking this or that or that, our Atman will shine. But when it comes to a certain niche, then it is called buddhi. So that is the sattvic state of the mind. And there, swacheshu pratibimbavat, like the sun reflecting, anything reflecting, our face, if mirror is there, it reflects. Our face does not reflect on the wall. If it is polished, it reflects. So, swacheshu pratibimbavat is the example. On a clean surface, the image comes, pratibimba comes. Like that, Atman is felt. Image, pratibimba, this I consciousness comes in a pure mind. So, Atman is everywhere, but it shines only in the pure mind in the form of I consciousness. Dehendriya mano buddhi prakrutibhyo vilakshanam tadvrutti sakshinam vidyat atmanam rajavatsada. Vilakshanam, an important word, not different, but different characteristics, different in nature. If we say that Atman is different from body, then existence of two things we are telling. Two things are not there. What is unreal? But the characteristics of body are different from the characteristics of Atman. So this is an important word used in the scriptures. Instead of saying bhinna or different, vilakshanam, different characteristics, different signs to recognize it. That is vilakshanam. So deha lakshanas are different. Deha goes into destruction. There is jada, indriya, same thing. They are instruments, not the subject. Mind, buddhi even, it can determine things, but it itself vanishes when we are in deep sleep. Is the buddhi functioning? Is the mind functioning? So where have they gone? Atman never goes away. Prakriti. Prakriti is the base of all this. Suppose we are in deep sleep. Mind, buddhi not functioning. But the basic of all this is there. And then we get up. So in Jagruti, body and indriyas are functioning, mind also is functioning, buddhi is also functioning. In dream state, body and indriyas are not functioning, but the mind is functioning along with the buddhi. In the deep sleep state, none of them are functioning, but the nature is there. And the why nature is different from Atman? Because it breaks. When we come back to dream or waking state, that avyakta prakriti is not there. So all they have different characteristics. This is how to discriminate. All these are different characteristics. Atman is eternal, unchanging consciousness. So Vilakshanam, another quality of the ashram, Atman. Tad vritti sakshinam vidya. Body has some functions. Who knows it? The consciousness. Indriyas have some function. Who knows it? Atman. Mind has some functions. Atman knows it. Buddhi has some functions. Atman knows it. So the functions, vrittis of all of them are known to the Atman. And Atman does not change. That is why it is called Sakshi. Sakshi means witness. Sakshi means consciousness, conscious but not changing. So that is Sakshi, Tad Vritti. All these things which are mentioned, they have their own functions, and Atman knows all the functions. Vidyat, Atmanam. We should know Atman in this way. Shankaracharya is telling you should know Atman in this way, that it has different characteristics than all of these, and it knows functions of all of them. In this way, we can find Atman. Example, Rajavat Sada. No, those days are gone. King is sitting on the throne. Everybody is working. Minister is working, officers are working, the common man is working, the different grades of officers are working. If the king is not there, he cannot work. King is sitting, king is not working, but king is sitting, monarchs. And in the presence of the king, all of them work. So, this is the example given to tell us that Atman is the witness of all their functions, and in the presence of Atman they are working, but the characteristics are different. None of them has the characteristic to rule, that is king's function. Now, when these things function, we feel Atman is functioning. So whatever we feel against the truth is being illumined again and again by examples. That is the whole Atmavada. Atman is existence, consciousness, bliss, and nothing else is real. Now we feel differently, and every feeling we feel is due to superimposition, and it is being explained in shloka after shloka. Vyapruteshu indriyeshu atma व्यापारे इव अविवेकिनां दृश्यते अभ्रेषु धावत्सु धावन्निव यथा शशि व्यापृतेषु when they are busy indriyeshu our sense organs are busy atma vyapari iva vyapari is not businessman here it appears that atman is functioning Indriya is functioning, it appears Atman is functioning avivekina to the non-discriminating mind. To the non-discriminating mind, Atma appears to function when the Indriyas are functioning. Example, Drishyate, avivekinam drishyate, aviveki see like that. Abhreshu dhavatsu dhavan niva yatha shashi. In the sky, moon is there. Moon has its own motion, a steady motion. But the clouds, when they cover the moon and the clouds run very fast, it appears moon is running. There is a common experience. So examples of common experience are quoted by Shankaracharya to tell us to recognize ourselves and to realize it. So, Abreshu Dhavatsu, Abra is the clouds, Dhavatsu they are running, Dhavan Iva Yatha Shashi. Shashi is moon. Moon also appears to run as the clouds are running. In the similar way, so how can logic reach there? It is through examples we are able to comprehend. And that is, as we found, is the speciality of this Atmavada. So, Indriyas are busy. Atman appears to be busy with them to the non-discriminating as moon appears to run when the clouds are running. आत्मचैतन्यम आश्रित्य देहेन्द्रिय मनोधियाः स्वक्रियार्थेषु वर्तन्ते सूर्यालोकम यथा जना. Another doubt comes in the mind. We see that just now Acharya has told that Indriyas are functioning. Atman is not functioning. Atman is appears to function. So Indriyas are functioning, mind is functioning. So why not assume that they have Chaitanya? Why not see, why not think that they are all consciousness? Because without consciousness, we do not see any movement anywhere. So when we see that they are moving, why say that in the presence of Atman they are moving? Why not they themselves are consciousness? That is the new doubt. And that also will be illuminated by an example. Atma Chaitanyam Ashritya, the consciousness of Atman is taken as support. Deha Indriya Manodhya. by the body, the indriyas, the mind, and the buddhi. Sakriyartheshu vartante. Then they work for their own different functions. Surya lokam yatha jana. Beautiful example. Sun, what it does? It shines. It does not do anything. Huh? Grammar is sun shines or sun is shining. Means the very definition of sun is shining. As we say, so and so is a good boy. Sun is shining. This shining is both a verb and a gerund. That means a noun made out of the verb. So what is sun? Shining. And we are all working. The entire world is working. If there is no sunlight, what will happen? We do not work. Sun is not working, but it shines, and taking the sunlight support, we work. So, Atman is not working, and these things are, none of them are light of their own. Sun is only the giving the light. Physical light, we also do not have. Physical light, nobody has. But everybody is working because of the light of the sun. So through this example, we have been told, light is only with Atman, functioning is with these things. In the light of the Atman, they are functioning. Beautiful example has come. We are all working because of the sunlight. That does not mean we are light. Sun is light, we are not light. Sun is not functioning, we are functioning. Similarly, Indriya, Mana, Buddhi are functioning. Consciousness belongs to Atman. They do not have consciousness. Atman does not have function. So in the Atman's light, they are functioning. So functioning does not prove light. In somebody's light, something can function. Atmanah Satchidamshasya Buddher Vrittiriti Dvayam Sanyojya cha Avivekena Janami iti pravartate. Now I know. How to understand what is this I know? If I am Atman, how do I know? If I am body, how do I know? I am consciousness. But to know, there has to be objectified knowledge. So now the objectified knowledge is being explained in this shloka. Amsha here means not exactly a part, but an aspect, you may say. Satchit Amsha. Existence and consciousness, an appearance of that, and an aspect of that is Atman. And Buddhi Ruddhi. Our Buddhi take as common as mind and Buddhi. So the determinative faculty or the mind has a function. These are two in appearance. Sanyojya. When we add these two, when we put these two together, then Avivekendra. They can never join. That is the fun. Consciousness, even Amsha of consciousness has no physical dimension. Consciousness has no length breadth. Consciousness has no gaps. Consciousness has no holes. Consciousness has no place for the matter to stand. But somehow, through non-discrimination, we feel that they are joined. The mind and Atman can never join. But we feel due to non-discrimination, they are joined. And then this objectified knowledge comes. I know. I know the world through my mind. Mind cannot know. Atman, for Atman, there is no mind, no world, nothing. But when Atman apparently joins with the mind, this objectified knowledge comes. Now, generally, a man in general, or the whole Western world in philosophy, They think knowledge means objectified knowledge. I know myself. I know myself all pervading. This knowledge is not counted generally. Knowledge means objectified knowledge. So the objectified knowledge is a result of apparently Atman joining with mind or intellect by the non-discrimination. That means it cannot join, but it appears to join. Now, this very thing, discrimination will be shown in the next. Atmano vikriya nasti buddher bodho na jatu iti jiva sarvamalam gyatva gyatva drishtati muhyati. In Atman, there is no change. I know there is a change in me. When I know some beautiful thing, I am attracted. When I know some bad thing, I am repelled. So this objective knowledge gives a vikriya in me. But Atman is without vikriya. Atman is absolutely changeless. Atman is one without a second. And Buddhi has vikriya. Buddhi does not have consciousness. Buddhi does not have consciousness. Mind does not have consciousness. Consciousness belongs to Atman and change belongs to Buddhi. Atman does not have change, it has consciousness. Buddhi changes, it does not have consciousness. Now, what is the Jiva? Jiva is an apparent combination of them. When the Atman shines on Buddhi, then Sarvamalam Jnatva Jnata Drashta iti muhyati. I know, I see, this delusion comes because of the non-discriminating between two very different things, very different characteristics. Atma has knowledge, no vikriya. Buddhi has vikriya, no knowledge. But the jiva, so-called jiva, is the apparent combination of these two. When Atman reflects on this buddhi, I consciousness comes. This I consciousness is called jiva. And it knows all the dirty things. That means subject-object knowledge is not real, and that is what I know. And then I say, I know this, I see this, muhyati. In this way, I become deluded.
Maharaj, some slokas you have missed, two slokas you have missed, Maharaj. A few slokas in between got missed.
Now, how to know which knowledge is real and which knowledge is unreal? By the effect thereof. Rajju sarvavad atmanam jivam jnatva bhayam mahet naham jiva paratmeti jnatasyet nirvayo bhavet. So, out of many imperfections, one is picked up, and that is fear. Everybody in this world is afraid of something. Even the bravest of people, they are afraid. Appears they are brave, but they are also afraid. Now, it is like seeing snake in the rope, which gives us fear. When Atman is known as Jiva, then fear comes. And I am not Jiva, I am Atman. If this knowledge comes, then we are fearless. So the difference is, I am a Jiva is false knowledge that comes out of the wrong combination of Atman with Buddhi, which can never be combined. It comes out of non-discrimination, and that leads to fear. And if the real knowledge comes that I am not this limited Jiva, I am not the reflection of Atman and Buddhi, I am the Atman, then there is no fear. आत्मावभासयति एको बुद्ध्यादीनि इन्द्रियाण्यपि दीपो घटादिवत् स्वात्मा जडैस्तेन अवभाष्यते. Due to Atman, which is consciousness, buddhi, mind, indriya, body, it shows us, the Atman's light shows us buddhi. Atman's light shows us mind, body, indriya. They cannot show Atman. If you take a lamp, then it lamp shows a jar, a pot. The pot or jar cannot show us light. So in this way, the distinction is being told. Atma avabhasayati eko. One Atman, all pervading everywhere, it reveals Buddha Dini Indriyani appear. Buddhi Adi, Buddhi, mind, etc., Indriyas also, body also, avabhasayati, reveals. Example, Deepo Gatadivat, as the light of a lamp illumines a jar. Swatma, Jadair, they na avabhasyati. Those matter things cannot illumine Atman, which is my real nature. The body, mind, etc. cannot reveal Atman, which is my real nature. Atma is revealing all of them. Example, light illumines everything, everything else cannot illumine the light. Another, actually nonsensical doubt, but it comes to everybody. The belief is that I know Atman. So is it not that something else is required to know Atman? That is the doubt coming. I know Atman is not the final knowledge. So, swabodhe nanya bodhecha bodha rupatayatmanah na deepasya anya deepecha yatha swatma prakashane. Atman is self-luminous. It does not require another luminous body to illuminate. For illuminating everything material, we require the light of the Atman. To illuminate Atman or to reveal Atman, we do not require any other light. So bodhe, when it is self-luminous, nanya bodhecha, we do not wish or we do not require another light. Bodha rupata atmana. Because Atman is the very nature of Atman is bodha, consciousness. So to know itself, so bodhe, to know itself, Atman does not require another light, another consciousness, because it is knowledge itself. Example, the lamp illumines everything. To illuminate that lamp, we do not require another lamp. The lamp is self-luminous. Na deepasya anya deepecha yatha swatma prakashane. To illumine a light, we do not require another light. That light is self-luminous. In the same way, this idea is wrong that a second thing is necessary to know Atman. And that is why I know Atman is a limited thing and we have to go beyond that to know Atman. निषिद्ध निखिलोपादेन नेति नेति इति वाक्यतः विद्यात् ऐक्यम महावाक्येर जीवात्मा परमात्मनो. Then how to know Atman? There is only one way, and that is to listen to what the sages are telling. Those who have realized their real nature, what they are telling, and meditate on that, try to experience that, and you will know Atman. To know Atman, you do not require another light, but it is its own light. But to reveal that, what you require is teaching of the people who know. And how they tell us what is Atman? Nishiddha Nikhalopadin. We already understood what is this Upadhi. That which is not my real nature, somehow I feel it, that is called Upadhi. Now by negating all the Upadhis, that means, you remember Shankaracharya's Nirvana Shatakam. Manobuddhi Ahankara Chittani Naham. This is not only words, huh? He is negating. He is asking us to negate whatever we feel as myself. I am not mind, I am not this. In this way, we are able to negate. And then what remains? Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Now, when you come to this song, let me tell you, people feel great in singing Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. Without understanding that, it is preceded by 3 lines of negation. Every stanza is 3 lines of negation, then the effect is that Chidananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham. So that is how the sages teach us. Nishiddha Nikhilopadin. How? Neti Neti iti Vakyata. The Upanishads tell us not this, not this, not this. Sri Ramakrishna is a beautiful example. Now, the friends of a bride have entered the chamber and many people are sitting. So the friends are asking that bride, is this your husband? She said, no. This is your husband? No. This is your husband? No. When the husband is seen, neither she talks nor they ask. So by eliminating everything else, we see the reality. That is an example given. It is self-evident. The meaning is it is self-evident. Only because we are taking so many things as real, we do not see it. If we can negate them, Vidyat Aikyam. In this way, what we feel today as I, Jivatma. Jivatma is a feeling. Paramatman is the real Atman. Now their unity can be realized by Neti Neti and also Mahavakyas. The sentences which reveal the identity is called Mahavakyas. Tattvamasi, that thou art. Neti Neti, that thou art. Not this, not this, not what remains, that you are. So in this way, that is the way to realize Atman. Take recourse to sages who have realized, they will tell you not this, not this. Not this, not this is not only twice, huh? It is called vipsa. If it is repeated twice, it means continuously negation till you reach the goal. And then with the use of Mahavakyas, you will realize your identity with your real nature. That is the way. Now I am puzzled how much to read. We have read a lot today. Anyway, one more. Avidyakam shariradi drishyam budbudavaksharam etad vilakshanam vidyat aham brahmeti nirmalam. I think we stop here today. Though time is left, but we have read so many ideas. Better to stop here and resume on the next Wednesday. We have read
Maharaj,
up
you missed
to
3 lectures,
29
3
shlokas.
slokas.
That means 15 shlokas we have read today. So many ideas have come and we have to practice that. The main thing is that all these things require our practice of discrimination. So we can go back to our houses and read every shloka again and try to practice what is being taught there. And we'll resume our talking on next Wednesday. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanam.